Okay, so for a couple of weeks now I've been flagging today, Sunday the 7th of January 2018, as a date to watch for twin fire signs. And the reason is there's two 12-year-old boys, identical twins, in this story by R.L. Stine. Daniel and Samuel are identical twins. And I read this book in 2015. The way I found it was very coincidental, very strange. It's actually a Queanbeyan library book, and identical twins. Did you know they actually mirror each other, in that if one twin is right-handed, the other one tends to be left-handed, and things like that. Mirror, image, identical twins. So, today's also the birthday of a boy named John, who, the last time I saw him, he was 11, going on 12, and he told me he was doing an assignment, a project at school on volcanoes. So I made a prophecy for today. I said, Mount Agung in Bali and Mount Sinabung in northern Sumatra will erupt. And I have not heard of any erupting volcanoes. I said that would be a sign for Tropical Cyclone Irving. Well, Tropical Cyclone Irving formed yesterday and is now gathering strength out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. There's not much about it because it's nowhere near anybody. It's out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Irving. So, I now have another prophecy. My new prophecy is for tropical cyclones Riley and Savannah on Friday the 9th of March 2018. Yes, twin fire signs. So what were today's twin fire signs, if not volcanic eruptions? Well, this is the ABC News from Sunday, 7th of January 2018.
Tonight, Sydney swelters as a heatwave hits, sending thousands to the beaches for a respite and changing a bridal promise.
So then I'm going to cut the wedding short and go straight back to the hotel and jump in the pool at the stage.
Firing back, US President Donald Trump lashes out at devastating accusations in a new book. Australia closing in on another test win over England after centuries from Mitchell and Shaun Marsh. And mirror, mirror on the mountain, the ingenious way one tiny town lets in the light. Well, it's official, summer hit with a vengeance today. It was Sydney's highest temperature in nearly 80 years. Total fire bans were in place and the epicentre was in the west. Penrith, more than 47 degrees. Emily Lawrence reports.
When the mercury reaches new heights, so too are the attempts to cool off.
Oh, it was so good. When you jump in, it's just like a big bubble of relief.
I'm Scottish, so I'm on fire.
In Penrith, the heat was on, with the highest recorded temperature in Sydney since 1939.
We initially thought that perhaps it could have been an actual record, but we've gone back through our records and found an old Richmond site which recorded 47.8 degrees in 1939.
The mercury kept climbing until 3 p.m. when it peaked at 47.3 degrees Celsius. Further east at Bankstown, the temperature reached 45.2, and closer to the coast, a top of 43.4 was recorded.
I think I'm going to cut the wedding short and go straight back to the hotel and jump in the pool.
There was no rest for those on the clock.
Yeah, a drink will help.
And if that wasn't hot enough, spare a thought for those on the cricket pitch.
They've taken the temperature out in the middle during the lunch break and it's over 50 degrees. It's hot by any standards.
Or Sydney's homeless, who were offered water and sunscreen.
Look for the coolest spot in the park and, mate, just sit up there and hope for the best.
Several with dehydration and fatigue needed help.
Half of them to medical, both doctors and hospital, and the other people to refuges, where they can remain cool in the day.
A car fire that spread to bushland near homes north of Penrith had firefighters on edge. For those who could, water was the best way to cool off, and even the most reluctant beachgoers turned up.
First on the beach in about 2 years.
But there too, respite from the sun was limited.
It's really not a good idea, actually. But we've got enough block on, yeah, some good mates, some good banter, that's about it. That's all you need.
Visitors to the city took the heat in their stride.
First we will drink some more water, and then probably 1 or 2 beers.
Cool beers.
Yes.
While Sydney's wildlife were cooled down with ice blocks, carrot or prawn flavour, of course.
And Emily Lawrence joins me now. Emily, it wasn't just hot, it was also dangerous along the coast today.
As you can probably tell from the number of people behind me still in the water at Bondi, it's been an extremely busy day for lifesavers, one of the busiest of the season. 100,000 people went to New South Wales beaches today, and there were a number of major incidents. A man in his 30s was pulled from the water at Port Kembla Beach in Wollongong. He's now in a critical condition in hospital. And further south, a 25-year-old rock fisher drowned. Lifesavers treated many beachgoers for heat exhaustion and marine stings today also.
And what do the next few days have in store? Are we going to get a break?
Well, the week southerly is here. There's a beautiful breeze blowing across Bondi right now, a welcome reprieve for everybody here. But Sydney's still in for hot weather for the next 2 days, with temperatures predicted to be in the 30s. But relief is in sight. Temperatures are expected to drop back down to the 20s by about Wednesday, and showers are also likely.
Emily Lawrence, thank you. And as Emily just reported, a fisherman has drowned after falling from rocks on the state's south coast. Police rescue were called as the 25-year-old's companions dived in to help him near Currarong in the Shoalhaven area. The three were pulled from the water, but the man was unconscious and couldn't be revived. He wasn't wearing a life jacket, and police have again called on rock fishers to take precautions.
If the waters are rough, do please watch the water, keep an eye on the water, don't turn your back on the waves, and always wear a life jacket in and around the rock shells.
The victim's friends were taken to hospital to be treated for exposure. A teenage girl has been charged with lighting yesterday's ferocious bushfire in Melbourne's southeast. It damaged one home and threatened many others. Authorities have again defended their response to the fast-moving blaze, which has left hectares of bushland smouldering at Carrum Downs. James Hancock has the story.
An emotional return for Jim Crozier to his home of 30 years.
I'll quietly rap that I can't get in because I don't want to see what I've lost.
Inside, the musician has a recording studio and an art collection. Armed with a watering hose, he worked frantically yesterday afternoon to save his Darnley Drive property.
This was so intense, you knew it was all over.
You can see him here in the white t-shirt, forced to make a quick escape. Despite his best efforts and those of firefighters, the air conditioner caught alight. His neighbours also came under attack from flying embers.
Oh, it was horrible. It was just flames and smoke, and you couldn't see much at all.
Fencing and 4 sheds were burnt, but no other homes damaged.
Our house is just across the road there. We got a little bit burnt just in front of our bedroom window and our fence.
When you look at that, what goes through your head?
How lucky we were. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. So it started.
Spot fires broke out in the family's backyard.
And when they said to me yesterday, oh, the Christmas tree has burnt, I'm thinking, well, I know how close that was to the house, so that's when I started to panic a bit.
The fire started here at the end of Blue Wren Rise, travelling 1.5 kilometres in hot, dry and windy conditions. The fast-moving blaze ended up blackening more than 30 hectares of land, but authorities have defended not raising the fire warning to the highest level, keeping it at watch and act.
Once you get a couple of streets back, there's not, a huge risk to the residents. And there are other issues which come about when you try to evacuate large numbers of people quickly.
The response will be formally reviewed, with a community meeting planned for Wednesday. A 15-year-old local girl has been charged over the blaze.
It was an intentional and deliberately lit fire.
The Environment Department believes 20 fires have been deliberately lit in or near the reserve in the past decade. Jim Crozier says this was the worst he's experienced, but it's brought neighbours together.
Man, I feel like I'm back in the 70s. This is how it should be.
Now the drummer wants to put on a show in the street to thank them for their support. James Hancock, ABC News, Melbourne.